Day by day!
Day by day!
We get stronger and stronger!
We get stronger and stronger!
Till we can't be beat!
Till we can't be beat!
Till we won't be beat!
Till we won't be beat!
We know the road!
We know the road!
It's gonna be tough!
It's gonna be tough!
So when we win! It won't be by luck!
It won't be by luck!
Amen, guys! Let's go! 1, 2, 3, Cougars!
As we welcome you back in here with your TV and Chatham-Kent Cougars football. Mike Renier along with Mike James here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. And the JVs are going at it here tonight. The junior varsity between Chatham-Kent and Oakville. Oakville will start off on offense in this football game. Nice coverage on special teams for the Cougars, who will start off this football game on defense. And Michael, your guess is best as mine in terms of who's who here with the jerseys. With this sunlight, they look identical.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be virtually impossible to tell these two teams apart, but we're going to give it our best, of course.
That's right.
You're a trained professional, and I'm going to trust in you.
Well, I'm neither one of those words. Neither trained nor a professional, but Oakville does have the ball at their own 34-yard line to start off this football game. Cougars coming in 1-0 after a dominating win on home field last week, and a good shot on D right off the start for the Cougars. And did they get the football?
Yeah, they're going to say fumble there, and Cougars celebrating on the field. They've recovered it.
Well, I should say, good start on D for the Cougars. They have a takeaway, and now they have great field position deep in Titan territory, the Titans of Oakville. And a good start right where they left off last week for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, great defensive start. Oakville fumbling on their first offensive possession. And if you remember recalling last week, the season opener for the Cougars, they did have 3 fumbles in their first 3 possessions.
They keep it on the ground. Nice job by the running back getting around one would-be tackler and still on his feet. Some big yardage on 1st and 10. And a great run by Ethan Shupka. And number 32 able to move the chains, a significant gain on 1st and 10.
Great run by the big man, number 32, rumbling down the field, carrying a couple tacklers there at the end as well. But getting back to last weekend, the Cougars just absolutely rolled in the second, third, and fourth quarters. But in the first quarter and a little bit, they did have some troubles with ball security, something certainly to keep an eye on here today.
1st and 10 from the 12 against you, getting the assignment on the ground, heading towards the end zone. And it is a touchdown for the Cougars, crossing the goal line. 6 points in just a couple of plays. Oh, man, off the turnover and the takeaway. The Cougars wasting no time, getting a 6-0 lead.
Well, that's a recipe for success. You give the ball to 32, and Chupka puts it in the end zone. I mean, 2 running plays. And you've got 6 on the board. Can't argue with that.
Great field position to kick off this drive, and only a couple of plays to the end zone as the Cougars look to add to their 6-0 lead very early on in this football game, only about a minute and a half into it. As they line up for the kick. And it is up and through. And a 7-0 lead for the junior varsity Cougars. A quick, efficient, good start for the junior varsity Cougars. 7-0 over the Titans of Oakville.
Yeah, they make Oakville pay right away. Oakville fumbles on their very first offensive play. Cougars recover. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone on 2 runs by Chupka. And Cougars jumping all over the visiting Titans right away. It's a good sign from this junior varsity squad.
Absolutely. After an immediate fumble by Oakville on their first touch of the football offensively. So now the Cougars will kick back off and see how quickly they can get the football back for the second go-around here. After a semi-brief timeout, sprinkler gate is what we'll call it. after the Cougars' major score, a 7-0 lead for the junior varsity Cougars over the Titans of Oakville. Now they've got that sprinkler situation, I guess, semi-worked out, and so now the Cougars will kick off from their own 45. On the heels of that major score, a good kick end-over-end line drive and fielded cleanly by Oakville around their own 30-yard line. And, again, pretty good coverage by the Cougars, but it takes about 3 or 4 Cougars to bring down the Titans on the return. And now the second attempt on offense for Oakville. That really didn't turn out very well for them in the first go-around.
No, I'm sure they're going to be looking to turn the tide after fumbling the ball in their very first offensive play of this football game. And again, another chance for the Cougars defense to get out there and lick their chops. Fantastic performance last weekend against Sarnia. And looking to continue that trend here.
Titans will start from their own 34-yard line, trying to answer back. Cougars up 7-0 early in this football game here at the Community Athletic Complex here in Chatham-Kent. They keep it on the ground once again, and some big positive yards for the Titans past the 40-yard line. Looks to be around the 41, so decent 7-yard gain, it appears, on the ground for Oakville.
Good-looking run there over the left side. Didn't look like the Cougars came with the blitz that time on that first defensive stance where they did cause the fumble. They came with the blitz up the middle, and it paid off. And we do know that the defensive coordinator for the Cougars likes to put pressure and come with the blitz.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now for Oakville. So they keep it on the ground once again, right up the middle.
Nice defense there.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job by the Cougars. Maybe a gain of a yard and a half, maybe 2, but still a good yard shy of the first down. So that brings up a 3rd and short. That's a good full yard to get the chains moved here for Oakville.
Yeah. You're talking full yard, yeah. Maybe a yard and a half.
Yeah.
That's this is going to be a big 3rd down here for Oakville.
Once again, they keep it on the ground up the middle, working hard for that yard and a half to try and move it. And it looks like they got enough up to around the 45, or at least on the edge of that 45-yard line. And that looks like it's going to move the chains for Oakville.
Yeah, good second effort there on the push. Initially, it looked like the Cougars had some pretty good contact, and Oakville got a second surge there. Number 1, the running back for Oakville, just kept his legs pumping, as you like to see from the running backs. Don't stump pumping your legs, and ended up in a 1st down.
Good opening series for Oakville on this drive. Cougars 7, Titans no score, and once again they'll keep it up the ground, up the middle. And nice little bounce around from one would-be tackler, and getting a few yards on 1st and 10. The Oakville Titans up to around the 48-yard line or thereabouts.
Second down and 7 at their own 48-yard line.
Very high snap for Oakville. They go to the air this time and almost picked off along this side, just out of the wingspan of Bennett Hart, who was the closest player to that ball, but a little bit over his head, so that falls incomplete. 3rd down coming up now.
Yeah, really, Bennett Hart had a pretty good chance at a pick there. He made a good play on defense, went for the area where the receiver was located, but if he changed that angle up a little bit, was able to locate that ball in the air, could have had a pick, wasn't too far off, but again, it falls incomplete.
So on 3rd down, they elect to kick it, and it goes high, not very far, and it comes down just past the 50-yard line. And a whole bunch of the no yards flags come flying out past the 50, and the Cougars will have this football now close to midfield on their 2nd offensive possession.
A couple factors in that kick, I'd say. It looked like a bit of a mishit by the kicker, and then on top of that, there's a pretty good breeze out there right now blowing into the face of Oakville. And the Cougars are going to benefit from that short kick, and in addition to that, as you mentioned, Mike, no yards.
5-yard, no yards penalty goes against Oakville.
So again, for the 2nd straight time on offense, the Cougars will have quite favorable opening possession here. They will be in Titan territory by a yard. Now the 54. 7-0 Cougars as they keep it on the ground. A little bit of an open side along the near side here. Good run, and to the 40-yard line, Nakoma Scott able to find a wide open hole right at center. And that's going to be an easy first down on a first down from the Cougars.
Very easy. Boy, that blocking was phenomenal over here on the right side. Nakoma Scott coming across on the sweep, and just all he had to do was run to the open space. Really no tacklers to avoid till he finally was past the first down marker.
7 minutes to go in this opening quarter. 7-0 Cougars. And once again, they elect to go to the ground. More pressure now on the running back this time, trying to find an open seam along that far side. Turning the corner, and some good positive yards down that far side. Tyler Shumansky brought something to the table there after it looked like he was going to get dropped for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. But a great job, good vision there by Shumansky.
Yeah, and the Titans had some good pressure there getting into the backfield. Shumansky bounced it outside, had to bounce it a couple times. Nice benefit of having the wide field, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
You can bounce it a couple times, and got to the sideline and then cut it back inside, avoided going out of bounds, wasn't afraid of the contact, and picked up the extra yards for the first down.
Shade over 6 minutes remaining in quarter number one. Once again, they elect to go to the ground on 1st and 10, turning the corner along the near side. Again, Shumansky getting around a couple of tacklers, heading towards the end zone. Does he get in? Touchdown, Cougars! What a run by Shumansky. Or pardon me, Chupka. I got a little bit excited there. Pardon me. Pardon me to Chupka. Let's try that again. Touchdown, Cougars. It's 13-0.
Yeah, big 32 with his second touchdown of this football game. Just followed his blockers out in front, made a couple of arm tacklers miss, and carried it into the house. For his size, Chupka has some pretty good speed too. Built low to the ground and able to fend off some would-be tacklers and takes it to the house.
In my defense, the 32 and the 8 look very similar.
Oh, there's no doubt.
You know?
I mean, if there are any two numbers that look almost identical, it's 32 and 8.
32 and 8, so you can't blame me. Extra point is good. It's 14-0 for the Cougars. Two very solid offensive drives for Chatham-Kent to kick off this football game. And still 6 minutes even to go in the opening quarter. So a very good start for the Cougars, but still lots of football left.
Certainly tons of football. And I wish I could defend you on the 32 and the 8, but I'm trying to come up with something. Like if you married the two numbers and they kind of look like an 8, but they really don't.
32 plus 8 is 40, and 40. 8 goes evenly into 40. 8. So that that's my train of thought.
Yeah.
It's my son's grade 2 math that's working.
You've done
flawlessly.
Too much math in your lifetime, and it's clearly affected your play calling.
Right. And two, Shumansky and Chupka, they're very similar sounding names.
Yes. I mean,
so you see where
just a couple letters difference, and that's about it. So,
right.
Yeah, completely understand it.
Hashtag friends. Coming to help friends.
Oh, that's a live ball.
Bouncing puck. Bouncing puck. I'm off to a great start here. Football deep in the Titan zone. They recover the football, but they're pinned down deeper in their own zone, so bit of a break there for the Cougars, now up 14-0.
And to be honest with you, this is the second weekend in a row where you've said bouncing puck.
Right. I'm a hockey guy at heart. I love football. Love football dearly. I've just called more hockey games, I guess, than I have anything else. So.
Yes, that's true.
They keep hiring me back. They keep bringing me back from week to week, right. Even though, I don't know, 32 between 8.
Yeah.
Puck and a football.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe this.
It's part of my charm.
Maybe this coming hockey season, you'll have a little slip and mention pigskin or something. Bouncing football.
Third down here at Memorial Arena. up the middle. 14-0 Cougar lead here in this first quarter at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Mike Renier, Mike James, former broadcast team for the Maroons.
Yeah,
years
right.
ago.
Many years ago. Had some fun. Never forget that Brinks truck that saved us on a long drive back through a snowstorm. Mm-hmm. Don't know if we ever would have made it back had that Brinks truck not been in front of us.
That's right. We thank the Brinks truck for saving our lives back from St. Thomas all those years ago. Going to the air, and it is off the fingertips of the receiver along that far side, Ethan Gabiden. And that one probably just a few inches out of his own reach there.
It's going to bring up a third down here. This Cougars defense doing a great job. In Oakville, you got to say, in an obvious punting situation here, deep in their own territory, already trailing 14-0. They just want to flip some field and get a better kick this time.
End over end, doesn't get a lot of distance. Fielded cleanly by the Cougars, and some yards after the catch here on the return. Great return, heading towards the end zone. Still on his feet, into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. That was number 8, right?
It was.
Okay, I thought I could recognize that 8 on his back there. Szymanski on the return off the punt. And special teams getting into the party now this evening. It's 20-0, just like that for the Cougars in the blink of an eye.
Well, I want to give Szymanski credit there for scooping the ball on that first hop. He didn't let it hop again. The ball was on its way down, but he scooped it, did a great job securing it, had good momentum going forward, and then just weaved his way through the coverage team of Oakville and really made it look pretty easy.
Offense and special teams and defense, all facets of the Cougars here this evening. All aces so far. Late in this first quarter, trying to go up by 3 full touchdowns here. Oh, and it's blocked at the line, and it's going to remain a 20-0 lead for the Cougars. Good job by the front line there of the Titans of Oakville. But still riding high is Chatham-Kent, up by 20 points, and there's still 4.5 to go in this opening quarter of football here.
Wow, hard to believe, isn't it? And this Cougars squad showed us last weekend just how dominant they can be on offense and defense, and they've absolutely picked up where they left off last weekend. They had their struggles in the first quarter, and then the first minute of the second quarter, they had 3 turnovers on fumbles, and then they cleaned it right up after that and ran away with that game against Sarnia. And now they've just picked up where they've left off. The only hiccup so far was that missed extra point. At least that'll give something for the coaches to yell at them about, you know? Like, I mean, really at this point, they've got nothing to yell at them about.
Right. They were just begging for something to not have an A-plus
That's right.
effort.
As a coach, you always have to find the things that you can improve on,
Yep.
and that's certainly one of them right there.
But still a 20-point run here for the Cougars, up 20-0, and a good return here maybe in the offing for the Titans, but a good job at that last moment by the Cougars on that return by the Titans of Oakville, and that's Dudley bringing them down.
Brandon Benoit. Sorry, 84. Yep.
Sorry.
Yep, it's all good. Brandon Benoit with the tackle. Good job by Benoit. He's the outside man on the coverage team there, so his job is to make sure that return man doesn't get outside of him. Benoit did a great job, shed the blocker in front of him, and then made sure that the return man didn't have an option to go outside of him, forced him inside, made the tackle.
So the Oakville Titans will go back to offense, down by 20. Around their own 30-yard line to start this one off. 1st and 10 as they shovel it off to the running back who cuts to the middle. Now cuts back to that far side, and no movement, nothing to do around that defensive line of Chatham-Kent. And I think they even dropped a couple of yards there, or maybe more than a couple. From this angle, hard to see, but I think they actually lost 5 yards there.
Yeah, pretty close to that. Good job by the Cougars getting penetration into the backfield, forcing the running back to alter his course, and then, of course, the Cougars defense rallying after that. And as you mentioned, now they moved it up a little bit after the initial mark. It looked like they were going to be back about 5. Maybe they've moved it just inside of that, but great job by the D.
2nd down and close to 14 here for Oakville. High snap brought down. They go to the air, and it is caught along the near side. About a 5-yard pickup by Tucker, number 15 for Oakville, but that only barely brings it past the original line of scrimmage here, so a big 3rd down. Did pick up about 6 or 7 on that pass play there, but they still have about 7 to go here on 3rd down. And Do you maybe start to go for it now if you're Oakville down by 20?
Yeah, maybe you're thinking about it here. It looks like they're lining up for a punt, though. Bennett Hart had the tackle there. It's a decent pass and catch. That's a tough throw all the way across the field. That ball hangs in the air for a while, but again, it was short of the first down, and there's a much better kick this time.
That is a monster punt. Good job. And now fielded around the 47-yard line by the Cougars, and a big hit at the 50. Still on his feet, and he'll be wrestled down by half the football field. Around the 48-yard line, maybe the 49-yard line of the Titans. So, again, very good opening field position coming up here for the Cougars, already up by 20.
Nice return by Szymanski there. Caught it cleanly. Was looking for a crease and took a pretty good whack, but held on to the football. As you mentioned, Mike, great field position. Again, Cougars have not been on their side of half, I don't believe, yet as a starting position.
If they have, it's only been for a matter of seconds. 2.5 to go in the opening quarter. 20-0 for the Cougars. Excellent start here. Trying to move to 2-0 in the very young season. Out of the shotgun. They'll go to the air along the near side, trying to find somebody wide open, and they do. It's brought down past the 20-yard line. And another huge play offensively. Ethan Jordan had about a stride and a half between him and the defensive back, and he made no mistake. He hauls it in for a huge gain on 1st and 10.
Nice throwing catch. Ethan Jordan, good separation there. Had about a step on the defensive back, maybe a step and a half. Jordan had a big touchdown catch last weekend that we saw. He's shown that he can be a weapon in the passing game. Nice connection there. And certainly worth mentioning as well, the quarterback, Evan Torres, was perfect last weekend in the game against Sarnia. Did not have one incomplete pass.
Very high snap. Torres brings it down. Another complete pass along that far side and heading towards the end zone, but a little bit shy. Tackled after a pretty healthy gain, but he doesn't quite get to the big house just yet. But again, looking like a very well-oiled machine. The offense, the junior varsity Cougars, they're right on the doorstep, though, looking to add to this 20-0 lead. I think they're right on the one.
Yeah, it was Bennett Schaefer there with the reception. I was a little bit nervous there after mentioning that Evan Torres had gone perfect last week, and he immediately put the ball in the air. Luckily, no jinx there.
Not yet. Not yet. At the one, a flag immediately comes out. They hand it off the running back who will head in for the touchdown. Will it stand, though?
It was Nakoma Scott with the 1-yard touchdown run, but as you mentioned, Mike, with the flags, have to wait and see.
Not a lot of celebration if you're the Cougars. I mean, they are up 20-0, but it looks like not a lot of frivolity happening for the Cougars after they run that in. Oh, it is against Oakville.
Well, apparently you don't need frivolity for
I
a
guess
touchdown.
not. you don't need to be happy when you score a major up 20-0. So it's against Oakville.
Cougars cutting frivolity out of their repertoire.
So you're impressed with my vocabulary then once in a while.
That is correct.
I get the numbers wrong and the sport wrong sometimes.
Yeah, but that's why they keep you around is the vocabulary.
The vocabulary I make it up with.
That's the difference maker.
Today's word, kids, frivolity. 26. Make it 27-0 for the Cougars as they get their 4th major score of the first quarter alone. We have 44 seconds left in the opening frame. 27 unanswered points. What a heck of a start here for the JV team for the Cougars.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, it's really in the blink of an eye. I mean, to be honest with you, it's just you've gone from kickoff to the first quarter almost being done, and you're up 27-0.
Right, and that said, it's been kind of a slow-moving opening quarter than what we've seen in recent times, but that's because 4 touchdowns have been scored by the Cougars. So if you're a Cougar fan, this is a good way to go through the first quarter. That's making it slow.
And actually, for those at home that might not know, there was an edit in this piece as well because the sprinklers in the end zone came on at one point. So that did cause about a 5 to 7 minute delay, which, of course, Jeff Brooks and the team have so kindly edited for you so you don't have to watch sprinklers spray water. And we know that's not what you're tuning in for.
Right. It also affords us, because this is not live to the second. It also affords us to say things like frivolity.
So when I was the JV coach, I had 16 regular season games.
That was something.
And I was like,
Line drive kick by the Cougars, up 27. And a return here for the Oakville Titans brings the football to around the 40-yard line. And we're still 37 seconds away from the end of the first quarter. So, man, oh, man, I haven't seen a quarter of football like this. Really, for the Cougars or one of their opponents, I haven't seen something like this in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal start for the Cougars. There's not much else you can say about that. Aside from a missed extra point, that is the only blemish in this first quarter so far.
So right by the 40-yard line of the Titans, Oakville will have the football. And a very daunting task for the visitors here now. Down 27-0. They start their offense once again on the ground and nowhere to go once again. Man, oh man, maybe the unsung heroes of this game will be the D-line for the Cougars. Yes, the offense have put up a boatload of points, but the defense not giving Oakville anything.
Phenomenal. Looked like that was Logan Stefina with the tackle, I believe. Again, it is extremely difficult. I apologize any numbers that I'm getting wrong for either team, but extremely difficult with both squads wearing the dark jerseys.
Who's who? Oakville does have the football going from right to left, and they go to the air. It's picked off by the Cougars. Interception. Will it be a pick six to the end zone? Touchdown, Cougars! Ryan Middleton. No one was around him. He had a clear path to that football. That was an easy, and I use the term easy because I wouldn't be able to do it, but a pick six for Middleton, and this onslaught continues for the Cougars. Finally now done the first quarter.
Wow, Middleton, I think he was probably the beneficiary there of a ball that looked like it might have slipped out of the hand of the quarterback. A bit of a dead duck hung in the air, and Middleton, right place, right time, but not going to take anything away from him. As you mentioned, made the reception cleanly, and when you're a defensive back, you know, there's a reason that you're not playing receiver, and sometimes you have troubles catching the football, i.e. me, and was able to return it to the house.
You're 100 times ahead of where I would be. Do not sell yourself short. Extra point coming up here. Cougars have spent a long time on this side of the football field in this opening quarter. They're going to kick again.
Well, I'll be honest with you, too. We mentioned just moments ago how quickly this first quarter has gone. This game is about to go even more quickly because the league has imposed a rule where as soon as you're up by 35 points, it's a running clock. They do not stop the clock once you lead by 35 points. We are just on the verge of that here with the first quarter about to end.
We could see a second quarter running clock. And this would make it 34, so we won't see it quite so early in the game here if they convert this.
Yeah, no, we're just on the precipice of that scenario playing out.
Precipice. Well, see, now you've matched the vocabulary from earlier. Well done. Precipice and frivolity. Here at the football field tonight. And that will make it a 34-0 lead for the Cougars, as that kick did hit the right upright, but it bounced through. So 34-0. And I believe that counted as that last play of the first quarter. So that was all in the first quarter. 5 touchdowns for the Cougars.
That's correct. Yeah, 34 points.
I can't remember the last time I've seen 5 touchdowns in one quarter.
In 12 minutes of football.
Right.
Phenomenal.
12 slow minutes, I'll give you that, but I don't think you mind if you're the Cougars players, coaching staff, or fans.
No.
So on that touchdown run, it was a penalty against Oakville, and it's going to be enforced on this kick here. In a 34-0 Cougar league, line drive kick, and brought down shy of the 40-yard line, and a flag comes out on that tackle.
Yeah, it was good coverage there on the Cougars, but where that flag came down, I'm wondering if it came in on the tackle. Although it looked like it was a low tackle, nowhere near being a face mask, anything like that. We'll have to wait and see what the call is here. But based on where the flag went down, I got the impression that it was on the tackle. And they are marching it off. It is against the Cougars. Oh, I didn't see the call on the far side there. I did not hear what that call was there. Oh, it was a tripping call. There we go.
So 10-yard penalty against the Cougars. And now Oakville starts at their own 45 here. 45.5-yard line. And now they blow her down again.
I think we had a timeout there from the Titans. It was Oakville calling a timeout there. You could hear the coaching staff yelling for it just before the snap.
So 14 seconds into this second quarter. 34-0 for the Chatham-Kent Cougars over the Oakville Titans. A completely dominant Chatham-Kent first quarter. After the timeout, 1st and 10 for Oakville. A deep hole down 34-0 as the quarterback scrambles to his right. Let's go in the air.
Picked
and
off.
Another interception by the Cougars. Along the near side, brought down at the 35. Maybe a touchdown-saving tackle by Tommy Georgini. Or that might have been another pick six. But another interception regardless here for the Cougars. Up 34-0.
Wow, that's the quarterback making the touchdown-saving tackle there. And I think he knew it as soon as he let it go. That's why he was able to get over there and make the tackle on Braden Charbonneau. Second interception here in this football game now for this Cougars secondary. And this defense just absolutely licking their chops. They've forced a fumble, and they've got 2 picks already.
Incredible performance here for the Cougars. 30 seconds into the second quarter. Shotgun offense here for the Cougars. They go to the air, near side, wide open. It's a reception and a touchdown. Bennett Schaefer, the 6th touchdown for the Cougars this afternoon. It's 40-0. And now you'll see the running clock.
Yes, you will. 33-yard touchdown pass from Torres to Schaefer. And, I mean, you got to love that, I guess, that decision right away after the turnover. Go for the artery right away.
Right.
Go for the deep pass. You've got the momentum on your side. You've certainly got a big lead. And beautiful pass and catch. Schaefer with the touchdown, and the Cougars absolutely running away with this one.
Trying to make it 41. Kick is up. And it's through. It's 41-0. I will amend what I said. Apparently, unless both teams agree to it, it will be second half that you have the running clock. That's from James Clark to our right.
I wasn't aware of that.
So, again, unless both teams agree to it this early in the football game, just less than a minute into the second quarter, we'll see if that is a thing. But I guess the rules state 35-point lead in the second half. So we'll see. Not out of the question yet, but the coaching staff for Oakville has to sign off on such an idea. And you got to think down 41-0. You might want to get back on that bus sooner than later.
Yeah, certainly not enjoyable for the kids. I mean, they're still, learning lessons and applying their skills on the football field, but at the same time, it doesn't feel good when you're involved in a lopsided game. So I don't think it really hurt you at all to have a running clock at this point.
Only a few seconds into this second quarter. Again, the very similar uniforms between these two football clubs. Cougars to our right, kicking off here at a 41-point lead. And a line drive kick. About a four-hopper to Oakville. And they shovel it off to the far side. And now down that far sideline, some good yardage on the return.
Yeah, a little reverse there on the return. Nice call there for Oakville and the coaching staff. Mix it up a little bit. Might as well try everything in the playbook at this point.
You're down 41, only a quarter into this game. And now they'll have their football, their own 45.
Well, certainly with the heat out there today, you'd like to have something refreshing, and one of the more refreshing treats you can get here in town is certainly Kona Ice, located at 75 Borrowman Drive in Chatham.
You're the segue master. Well done. We also want to thank Your TV and what you're watching at this very moment. Your TV, Enviro Clean Car and Dog Wash, Jim and Dee Merkus, 2 locations in Chatham, Campbell Toyota on Richmond Street. Just a handful of the great sponsors for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Everyone's got to love how this one's turning out. Second game of the season in this JV schedule for 2018. 41 unanswered points. 34 of them alone in the first quarter. 5 touchdowns in the first quarter and then a quick one in the second. An unbelievable offensive output so far here by the Cougars. Titans now have it on the ground past the 50-yard line. Can they march it towards midfield? And the first down looks like they're going to be a couple yards shy of that, but a very healthy first down run. And this is going to set up second and very short here for Oakville.
Well, certainly this is an opportunity now. The score already as it is, just early in the second quarter, give you a chance to play some of that depth that you've got on your squad, get some players a little more playing time. Still a lot of time left in this football game, so certainly a chance for everybody to get some playing time in this game.
Second down and a yard for Oakville. Up the middle they go. This will move the chains as they fight to the 50-yard line, or awfully close to the 50. And it looks like that was... Yeah. Bond gets the stop on defense. Couldn't see who the running back was to find his way to move the chains. First and 10 now from the 50 for Oakville. Under 10 to go in the second quarter. And once again, they elect to go on the ground and nowhere to go for that running back. Wrapped up maybe about a yard behind the line of scrimmage, so I don't think he even got to the line of scrimmage. Good job again by the D-line for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, nice job by the linebacker, Tanner Horlbeck. Got through the line and made the nice tackle in the backfield.
So second down coming up now for Oakville. Down by 41. Quarterback keeps it. He'll scamper with it himself and running right up the middle in a big collision at the 45-yard line. And that's brought down a fair distance short of the first down, about 5.5 or 6 yards shy. So third down once again now for Oakville. And decision time once again for the Titans.
Yeah, I think this was going to be an easy one for them. They got to go for it here, trailing big time in this game and actually across midfield now into Cougars territory.
And once again, the Titans keep it on the ground. Can they fight their way to first down yardage? It is going to be close, and I think it is short by a yard from what we can see at this angle. Well, maybe they got enough. Yeah, they did get enough, so just enough to move the chain. So good effort there on third and about 5. for Oakville, right at the 40-yard line. So enough to keep this drive going. From the Cougars 40. Oakville again lining up in the shotgun formation. High snap brought down. They go to the air down that far side by the sidelines, and it's bobbled and dropped by the intended receiver, Andrew King, along that far side. He was open by a fairly wide margin, and he just let that football slip out of his hands and fall incomplete.
Yeah, he did a good job judging where that football was. The corner that was on him didn't have an eye on the ball, so he was continuing to run while the receiver had stopped to turn around to grab the ball, and as you mentioned, hit him right in the hands. He'd love to have that one back. You could tell he was a little dejected that he dropped that one with a clap of the hands afterwards. Like to have that one back.
It's a 2nd and 10 here for Oakville. Again, they go to the air around that same spot, and good coverage by the Cougars, swatted away. And intended for King, it's batted down to the turf, and 3rd and 10 now coming up for Oakville. And on 3rd and 10, they elect to punt it to high. Punt doesn't go very far. High in the air, a two-hopper brought down by the Cougars. Flags coming out. Still on his feet. Good job by the return man for Chatham-Kent to get some extra yards at the end. Still a 41-0 lead for the Cougars with 5.5 to go in the first half.
I know it's 3rd and 10, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have had a problem with the Titans going for it there, especially since their kicking game isn't, blowing you out of the water by any means. So, I mean, why not go for it on 3rd and 10? You're not really flipping the field all that much, and I'd say just go for it. But hey, the Titans again, gives them a chance to practice their kicking game at the same time. But for me, I'd prefer to see them go for it and give the offense a chance to maybe put some points on the board.
Under 5 to go in the first half. Back on offense are the Cougars. And on 1st and 10, they head it off to the running back down that far side. And a huge gain. Still on his feet. Finally wrestled down was Nakoma Scott as he covers a lot of territory. A huge gain on 1st and 10 as the football comes past the 50-yard line of Oakville.
And Nakoma Scott just running wild on that far side. And then carrying a tackler for about another 5 to 7 yards, just bowling his way through at the end. And again, if you enjoy bowling, Formosa's Pro Shop, your one-stop bowling shop, 100 Kyle Drive, South Chatham. I almost had it.
Oh, your segues are fantastic, Michael James. Well done. Well done. 1st and 10, good run here for the Cougars. As the football comes to around the 41, so close to a 4-yard pickup on that run. But no, in all honesty, please check out Formosa's Pro Shop there. I'm just thinking that was a great segue. I'm letting you handle all the plugs.
I'll do my best.
The advertisements.
I'll do my best.
Lend around here on offense for the Cougars. They keep it on the ground, trying to fight for first down yardage. It looks like they probably have it to the 35-yard line. It looks like that will be enough to get a new set of downs here for Chatham-Kent. Another good run on 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Tyler Szymanski. And there's the signal there. They can move the sticks. Boy, I mean, the running capabilities of this squad, I mean, the blocking is phenomenal. Let's be honest. The blocking is tremendous. And then you throw in a nice mix of running backs with Nakoma Scott. You've got Szymanski. You've got Ethan Chupka. I mean, it's a great option to have with that stock of running backs and the great blocking they're getting up front.
Another assignment for Nakoma Scott up the middle, and another impressive run on the ground here for the Cougars. Another 1st and 10 run. And that gets about half the distance they need, so a 5-yard pickup. And 2nd and 5 coming up here for Chatham-Kent, under 2.5 to go. Looking at the scoreboard, if you're just kind of tuning in here, seeing 41-0 and 2 minutes to go. No, that is right. It is the second quarter. We're approaching halftime. Utter domination for the Cougars. Little short pass there and some open field and another big crunch, but a nice gain by Szymanski as he takes one for the team there. But again, that's enough on that pass play to get a 1st and 10, moving the chains again for Chatham-Kent.
Well, Szymanski showing that he can also catch the ball out of the backfield. Nice grab there. Nobody around him. Evan Torres finds him easily. And this offense just continues to roll.
We were saying how the running clock doesn't necessarily apply until the second half and a 35-point lead. Well, the Cougars in this drive are kind of taking care of that themselves. Some good gains, and now they go to the air.
Oh, it's caught.
Was it brought in? We'll see the signal here to make it official, but I think another major here for the Cougars.
What a grab. I
call that a touchdown. Didn't see an official one for
I believe that was Ethan Jordan
Cougars,
with the
but
snag.
Man, oh man, what a snag there. That far corner of the end zone.
What a great catch. Great body control in the air there. Ethan Jordan, there was fantastic coverage. Ethan Jordan picked up the ball in the air and just absolutely jumped up, turned his body, extended his hands, and then made that catch away from his body and pulled it in. Phenomenal grab.
47-0. And before the kick for the extra point flies up in the air, some flags come out. 52 seconds left in the first half. 47 zip for the Cougars.
That was highlight reel stuff right there.
That was an amazing grab.
Yeah, very nicely done.
And a short window, too. You didn't have very much between those feet and the sidelines. So great concentration. And so that's a false start against Chatham-Kent. So that was the reason for those flags. The kick redone and up and through once again. So 48-0. 7 touchdowns for Chatham-Kent in the first half. 5 of those in the first quarter. So if you're comparing a lackluster performance in the second quarter by the offensive Chatham-Kent with only 2 touchdowns. But a 48-0 lead.
Well, let's not forget as well, we had a interception return for a touchdown in that first quarter. That takes all of, like 5 seconds.
True.
And then we did have a touchdown after just 2 offensive plays, which probably took about 40 seconds. So we did have some quick scores in that first quarter.
Always a voice of reason, Mike James. 52 seconds left in the first half. That is not a typo you see on the screen. We're not through the first half yet, and a 48-0 score. What a performance here by the junior varsity squad of the Cougars. Trying to move to 2-0 on this season, and there's not a lot of worry at this point about that result. Line drive, low kick. A multi-hopper past the 30-yard line, picked up by Oakville. And a few yards on the return. 41 seconds and counting left to go in this opening half. And we'll see if the Titans get anything at all on offense before the break.
Ethan Gabadon with the return there. It looked like they were setting up maybe another reverse on that return, but Gabadon just either they waved it off, he changed his mind at the last second, or it was just a decoy reverse that time after going with the reverse return on the last kickoff, but a decent return by Gabadon.
And this looks like it will be it for the first half. After this play, they go to the air along the near side, jump ball for it, and swat it away. Nice defensive play there by Bobby Bloomfield. And that will, I think, ensure one more play as there's a flag out there before we hit halftime.
Looked like both players were battling for the football there. I'm not sure about the flag coming in, but they
Based on where he spotted, I'm going to call that defensive pass interference.
yeah.
So it's a spot foul.
Yeah, my guess.
It's 15 yards, but if it doesn't travel 15, it's a spot foul.
Yeah, it's against the Cougars there. I'll be honest, both the receiver and the defensive back were looking up at the football. I thought the defensive back did a great job there, just going up for the football at its highest point. And the official saw it a little bit differently, and we got the flag. But as a former defensive back, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to locate that football and go up and get it at its highest point and either knock it down or pick it off. I don't think the coaches are going to be too hard on that defender in that circumstance. Obviously, the Cougars' defense going to be wary here. Again, this is going to be the last play of the first half, so you got to be looking for something deep.
Now again, a little razzle-dazzle going on. They do go down the field, and once again, it is an INT for the Cougars, and a relatively easy-looking INT. Some room.
Blockers in front of him being chased from behind.
Finally brought down around the 30-yard line. Quentin Emmerich with the interception. Again, he went a long way across that football field, and he might have been a tackle away from another pick six.
Yeah, Emmerich was on his way, wasn't he? He had some blockers in front of him rallying, but a good play by one of the Titans chasing him down from behind to make that tackle.
So a good way to end off a very dominant first half, to say the least, for the Cougars. A 48-0 lead as we go to the break.
We've got a flag, I believe, that was on that play. Oh, and they're saying it was declined.
All right.
So we do have half.
Finally, a long half of football, but that was because of the dominance of the Cougars. 48-0, and we're only done 2 quarters here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Junior varsity football will be back with the second half coming up with your TV.
Ooh.
48-0 for the Chatham-Kent Cougars, underway in the second half off the kickoff. Look at this return. All the way over to that far side.
Is he going to get chased down?
Nope.
Oh, boy.
Touchdown. My goodness, the onslaught continues. Tyler Shumansky on a 48-0 lead coming out of halftime. Make it 54 on the opening kick of the second half. 54-0. Shumansky, one of the many Cougars who have had a great only half game of football so far.
Wow, Shumansky electrifying, and there was a monster hit over here right in front of the booth that helped spring him as well. Shumansky, number 8, having a game. Great job on that return, and what a way to start the second half.
Unbelievable. 54-0.
Looks like we got an injury timeout here.
a dominant performance as we've ever seen here in a football game. The Cougars just absolutely all over the Titans of Oakville.
Well, it looks like somebody a little banged up, and if you need some treatment, we've got Peach Physiotherapy and Wellness Center in Chatham, 463 St. Clair Street in Chatham, 519-358-7342. Again, Peach Physiotherapy and Wellness Center.
And a good spot to eat after the game. Covanis Pizza on St. Clair Street in Chatham. Go get yourself a pie there, too. And another one that's up and through after a touchdown for the Cougars. 55-0. The kickoff right off of halftime. Unbelievable performance here for Chatham-Kent.
Wow.
And suffice it to say, we'll see a running clock for the entire second half.
Yeah, and I'm going to say pies all around for offense, defense, and special teams. Covanis is going to be busy tonight because all three facets have performed phenomenally. If I'm not mistaken, 2 touchdowns on special teams. We've got a touchdown on defense, an interception return for a touchdown. They also have another interception and a forced fumble. And then the offense is just absolutely dominated. Evan Torres, perfect again so far in this football game on pass attempts. He's got a touchdown pass to Ethan Jordan. And they've run the ball all over this Titans defense.
And we are on target for a 100-point performance for Chatham-Kent. I'm not saying we're going to get there, but that's the pace we're on. Good kick by Chatham-Kent, fielded cleanly by the Titans, and now they were close to maybe getting sprung for 6 themselves for the first time, but brought down past the 50-yard line, and good field position for Oakville off another touchdown for Chatham-Kent. So very close there for the Titans to almost get on the board.
And I'm sure the Cougars would love to keep that 0 up there on the board right now. Something certainly to strive for this Chatham-Kent squad.
I know Maddie better than that. Philip Clarkey said he'll take it.
The choice has been made. If I can get a hold of him, but I mean, so I'll just donate.
Titans have the football. The 47 to Chatham-Kent. 55-0 for the Cougars. And Titans keep it on the ground past the 45 or to the 45 before being wrestled down. But the forward momentum will have the ball, actually the 44. So a pickup of about 4 yards on the ground there for the Titans. Second down, quarterback looking downfield, heaves it up in the air along that far side, and it falls down on the turf. In no man's land, no flags, and 3rd and 6 coming up now for the Titans.
Yeah, Tommy Gorgeni, the quarterback for Oakville, under pressure there and just heaving it up to a spot before he was about to get smacked. No receiver in the area, though, and it falls incomplete, as you said there. Mike brings up a 3rd down here. And again, based on this football game and where it stands right now with the Cougars up 55-0, I would argue you go for it here, but I got to say, it looks like they're lining up to punt this one away.
From midfield, a lot of air under that football. Falls down around the 35, picked up cleanly the other way here for Chatham-Kent. The Cougars will again go back on offense. Around the 37-yard line or thereabouts in their own side of the football field. A running clock now, easy running clock with a 55-point lead here for Chatham-Kent. Of course, as soon as I say that, an injury will now stop the clock.
If we're not careful, they're going to wash our mouths out with soap. Speaking of washing.
And a great quality soap.
Car and dog wash and ViroClean. course, 336 Grand Ave East.
And speaking of killing Clarkie down the way.
Park Ave East. And Biro Clean Car and Dog Wash.
We're here all season, folks. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Shows that 7, 12, and 3.
Yeah. Tip your server, try the veal.
Boy, this is turning into quite the dog and pony show. Speaking of dogs, no, I will not do that.
There's plenty more to come. It's 7:50 remaining in this third quarter.
Yes, let's pace ourselves.
It's still a long night ahead of us. Offense continues here for the Cougars. They leave it on the ground. And Shumansky still on his feet past the 50-yard line to around the 53. Tyler Shumansky dancing around a couple of would-be tacklers. And an easy first down for Chatham-Kent will bring the football close to midfield.
Shumansky just racking up the yardage here. 2 touchdowns on the day. And, boy, lots of yards. He's also got a catch in this football game.
Keep it on the ground and getting past the midfield marker to about the 54. Good run there for Bennett Schaefer. And that will set up second and I think 6 coming up here for Chatham-Kent. Rolling to his right, letting one go, and he's got a reception past the 40-yard line, and now some room to move down that far side of the field, trying to turn the corner, heading towards the end zone. No one's going to touch him. Touchdown, Tacoma Scott on a nice little short pass by Torres.
We've got a fight on the field.
Oh, no, and we don't want to see this
for
now.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what happens when you hear one out when you're up by 55. People get a little bit pissy if they get a stop. That's a dead ball.
Yeah, there's going to be ejections here for sure. I think somebody wasn't too happy about a block that was thrown.
That was number 12 for us. But the other guy.
Who scored that? Tacoma Scott? Yes.
And we're only halfway through the third quarter, so that still gives lots of time for that kind of stuff. Tempers flaring, certainly more than frustration on the side of the Oakville Titans. Before that play down 55-0. And the Cougars going to the air.
Gonna have to hear how they sort this one out. It's gonna cause a bit of a delay in this one.
Clearly the touchdown happens first, so the points will be on the board. Right. And then from there, who knows how they'll call that one. But 6 more points will make it a 61-0 Cougar lead.
It was a nice run after the catch by Tacoma Scott, and he had a couple nice blocks out in front of him as well. And I think the Titans certainly a little frustrated.
Jamesy, the JV from here, they've had 2 season opening games at home. Now they'll head on the road for a pair. They'll be heading to Halton Hills and Waterloo for the next couple of weeks. They won't be seeing a home game again until the end of June. June 30th is the next time they'll be back home. The junior varsity Cougars.
Nolan LaRouche for the Cougars. And Kyle Truffin from the Oakville Titans.
So the tight end for the Cougars seeing the last of action tonight. And then running back Kyle Truffin for the Oakville Titans after that latest touchdown for the Cougars.
It's not often that you see, like, you could actually see fists thrown.
Yeah.
You don't see that a lot.
In football in general.
No, in general. Usually just kind of a pushing, shoving, except for what happens under the pile, of course.
62 2-0 now for the Cougars. And that is the 9th touchdown. I had to pause there to do the math. 9th touchdown of this game for the Chatham-Kent Cougars, and we've only played 2.5 quarters.
You know what's amazing here? We've been under a running clock since the beginning of this second half, and it has taken quite a long time.
It has. I mean, there's an injury.
Stoppages that we've had. Yeah.
There's been an injury timeout. Of course, that melee at the end of the last touchdown also stopping things.
Yeah.
So I believe for those two players that got the boot, they also have another game they have to sit out after this one. I think that we'll have to verify that, but
yeah,
that's the rumblings I've been hearing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a fact yet. That might have to be a description of some higher ups. But after
10 minutes to get to one or the other. He went right through the middle.
After a 62-0 lead here for the Cougars and still 4:48 to go in the third quarter. Who knows what we'll see from here?
Yeah, really at this point, I think everybody's just looking for this game to be over, to be honest with you.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's not much to take away from this at this point.
I have nothing to follow it up with.
That's right.
I literally have nothing.
I think it's one of those that you just can't argue it. It's 62-0. It's
We'll be breaking out our favorite recipes pretty soon.
That's a live ball.
And falling on at the 38-yard line of the Titans, so Oakville back on offense. Down by 9 touchdowns and now under 4 minutes to play in quarter number 3.
I need some water. I'm picking up water, some carbonated water.
On the ground for the Titans, and a good job past the 45-yard line. And right up the gut. Good run there by the running back for the Oakville Titans. And actually, yeah, they're marching this one back perhaps. Well, we'll see how this flag goes, but there's a flag back in midfield. Oh, it's against the Cougars, so personnel infraction for too many men. Headed off that same running back right up the middle once again. This time almost nowhere to go. And a good job by the D-line for the Cougars. Maybe a yard. Looks like that's all they get on 1st and 10. So 2nd and a short 9 coming up here.
Nice job there, Tanner Horlbeck. Stout defense in the middle there. Bennett Hart in on that tackle as well.
Going to the air. Along that far side, and another interception for the Cougars. Down that far side. It's an INT. Touchdown, a pick 6 for the Cougars. Their 10th touchdown of this football game. And is that their 2nd pick 6 of the afternoon? Yeah.
Yes. James Cochran on that one right there. And again, that ball looked like it slipped out of the quarterback's hands based on the trajectory, and it was, again, a wobbly duck up in the air, and it just hung up there for Cochran to run under it, and then he was off to the races.
Wow. 68 points now for the Cougars. Minute 2 left to go in this third quarter.
At this point, there should almost be a fast forward button on the clock.
Well, they're going to put 6 minutes on in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Or do you want to proceed with the fourth quarter?
Yeah,
Y/N question mark.
Yeah.
When I run out of paper, we have to stop the game. Okay? I've actually started the Cougars, and I'm going back up the other way.
James Clark is itching to end this game.
Along with many here, I believe.
He needs that bottle of water. 2 bottles of water for Clarkie. Clock back going again, under a minute to go in the third quarter. Off the 10th touchdown of the football game, up and through. 69-0 now for the Cougars, the junior varsities. I don't know if there's a word out there to explain the enormity of this performance and the domination over Oakville in this one.
Yeah, I think the score really says it all at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think we don't even. I really don't think we need words.
We don't need
at
an
this
adjective
point.
to describe it.
No, the score has taken care of the words.
I don't even think we're needed in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is where you go with the mic drop.
That's right. We'll let the sounds and the scenes take over.
And they're going to switch ends for the fourth quarter here.
.69 for the Cougars of Chatham-Kent.
Screw it, I started early.
Fourth quarter underway. Football back to the Oakville Titans and wrapped up quickly around the 40-yard line.
Devin Bauer on the return for Oakville.
That was Bauer receiving the football for the Titans as we are now underway in quarter number 4. Unbelievable 69-0 lead for the Cougars. The junior varsities looking to, and they will easily go to 2-0. And now on the road for a couple of games. The Halton Hills on the 9th of June. And then a week off, and then on the 23rd, Waterloo will be the destination before finally returning home to Chatham on June 30th. 2 straight home games. On the ground, and 3 yards or so for Oakville.
Number 1 on the carry.
I guarantee you this will be a faster quarter because I have not
On that
stopped
stop after gain of about 4 for Oakville.
hands
But
are
second down and 6.
And a big run right up the middle here for Oakville. A flag comes out. A late hit past midfield.
And we've got a flag right at the end of that run as well.
And it hard on that stop.
Not sure if it's going to come on the tackle.
not giving us the signal.
15-yard penalty does go against the Cougars. Tack that onto the end
Did
of
you
the
do this
run.
at the end?
I wasn't watching him, I'm sorry.
Use this.
No, Kim said he thought he saw the guy grab the face mask.
Well, I'm assuming
Up the middle once again, and right there, the front line for the Cougars. Wrapping up the running back.
you got a number?
Well, give the Oakville Titans a little bit of credit here. They've got a bit of a drive going, and that this maybe is the longest drive that we've seen from the Titans so far. Speaking of drive, if you want to go for a drive, Campbell Toyota, 296 Richmond Street in Chatham, a proud sponsor of the Chatham-Kent Cougars.
You want other cars to drive right to beach physiotherapy?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get them all in one line there, Jason.
This is your thing now for the rest of the season. And another big crunch by the defense for the Cougars, not allowing the running game anything at all on that play for Oakville. So that brings up a 3rd down They might have actually even lost a yard on that run, so 3rd and close to 9 coming up here for the Titans.
You know what has a nice crunch to it is a Quo Vadis pizza.
All right, slow her down.
Well, we've got less than 8 minutes to go here. We've got to make
This is
sure
true.
we
Gotta get 'em
honor
all
and
in.
all the sponsors for the Cougars here, which are always appreciated, of course. Well, there's a good kick. Best one we've seen today from Oakville.
Line drive into the end zone. Cougars running it out along the near side, and nice job to evade one tackle. Still on his feet. Still on his feet along the near side. Good job. 30-yard line past the 30. Excellent job there by Bobby Bloomfield. 8 cheers for Bloomfield, like the 8-Count Cheer Academy. All-star cheerleading. Make sure you check in to what they're doing. 8countcheer@gmail.com. I thought I'd get on the action there.
Yeah. No, well done, Mike. Well done.
Now return brought to you by Quo Vadis Pizzeria, 316 St. Clair Street in Chatham.
Well, there's certainly been a lot of cheering for the Cougars here in this one.
Under 7 to go.
I'd like to see him get every sponsor in one sentence. Challenge accepted.
Cougars keep it on the ground on 1st and 10. And a good job by Benoit, who gets the assignment on 1st and 10. Pretty healthy pickup. Gets close to 6 yards on the ground there. So 2nd down, just past the 40-yard line in Cougar territory. High snap brought down, and once again on the ground for the Cougars, trying to turn the corner. Unable to get much there. Once again getting the assignment, Brandon Benoit. Not a whole lot there on 2nd down, so this will bring down a very rare 3rd down and medium range offensively here for the Cougars. They have not been in this situation much.
I believe this is the first 3rd down the Cougars have faced. They have not punted yet today. They have not punted once today. So here you go. First punt of the game.
Took
for the
3.5
Cougars.
quarters.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't seen today is a punt.
Yeah. This was the last piece that the Cougars had to deploy in this football game. So give them a chance to work on their punting game, punting coverage.
Timeout. Oakville.
Oh, we have a timeout called from Oakville. Maybe implementing a little bit of trickery here on the punt return.
A high snap, and now it's bobbled. And the only thing Liam Wellman could do is fall on it. So the first punt attempt of this entire game for the Cougars, not according to plan, but it's 69-0, so I don't think you'll find a lot of angst on the side of the Cougars.
No, but a chance for Oakville to put some points on the board. They've got the big donut up there right now. And no, we don't have any sponsors that I can tie into donuts.
Speaking of donuts, if anyone wants to bring them up here.
Yeah, speaking of donuts, Campbell Toyota, they'll put a donut in your trunk.
Richmond Street, Chatham. Can the Titans get on the scoreboard? Nice effort on the running back on the second effort up the middle. And we're under 4 minutes away from the end of this football game. Cougars will easily go to 2-0 as they head on the road now for a couple of weeks. June 30th, the next time the Cougars junior varsity squad will see a home game. The other two classes. We'll have a bunch of games here at this athletic complex between now and then. And now rolling, actually, the handout to the running back, quarterback, kind of faking that he was going to throw it off to his right, but they leave it on the ground. But the Cougar defense wasn't fooled very much.
No, I'll be honest with you. I was fooled. It was a well-executed play. But a good job by the Cougars D making the tackle up the middle, and Oakville is about 1.5 yards short of that first down, going to bring up a big third down here. And I understand it's 69-0 and a big third down, but I mean in terms of the Titans putting points on the board, that's where I'm coming from here.
They want to get something offensively in this game. Once again, they leave it on the ground, and not a whole lot. So they turn it over.
No, it looks like they're moving the chains there.
Did they get enough?
They got enough for that first down.
Well, then there you go. I didn't know if they got to the line as they needed. But indeed, so good job by the Titans. They keep things moving here. 2:15 to go in this football game. And here's running back still on his feet for the Titans.
Number 1 doing a good job there, weaving his way through the defense. And Oakville calls a timeout with 1:27 to go here. They don't want the clock to run, so they get a chance to put some points on the board.
They got close with that run, and they appear to be around the 1 yard line, so it was awfully close. 1:27 to go.
Oh, timeout now being called by the Cougars. This is really putting a damper on our running clock style here.
Killing me, man.
We were
Stopping it, but they make me on timeouts. 3 times, I'm telling you. That's it.
we were going for fastest football game in history.
And then we
I
get
believe that's done now.
back-to-back timeouts here in the fourth quarter. Squash that. Well, this is probably a good chance to thank all of our sponsors once again. Coach Go, your TV, truly local. Of course, watching that broadcast right here. EnviroClean, car and dog wash, self-serve. Chatham, 2 locations, 336 Grand Ave East, as well as 379 Park Ave East. Formosa Pro Shop, your one-stop bowling shop, 100 Kyle Drive South, Chatham. You've got your Kona Ice, 75 Boroman Drive in Chatham. Of course, lovely on a nice, warm day in the area.
Yes.
Swain Brothers, locks and keys and all kinds of good stuff. It's at 374 LaCroix Street in Chatham. Campbell Toyota, 296 Richmond Street in Chatham. You've got your Peach Physiotherapy and Wellness Center on St. Clair Street at 463. Evans Wholesale, 75 Boroman Drive in Chatham. Covada's Pizzeria, you want a piece of pie. 519-351-2333. They're located at 316 St. Clair Street. MP Roofing and Siding, proudly serving Chatham-Kent for over 20 years. 42 Sass Road in Chatham. Stanley Insurance, Scott Stanley, 166 Richmond Street in Chatham. And 8 Count Cheer Academy, all-star cheerleading. I can, you can, we can. 8 Count Cheer Academy. So, again, thank you to all the sponsors.
Absolutely. And can the Titans of Oakville get on the scoreboard for the first time of this game? At the Cougars 1. They'll try and punch it in on the ground. And it's in. Touchdown Titans for the first time tonight. They break the shutout of the Cougars. It's 69-6 now.
Well, I don't have a number 1, so I'm moving to number 3. Why? Because I can.
Just put number 1. I don't know. You guys have number 1?
Nope.
looks like they're going for 2.
Rolling to his right, trying to find his guy in the end zone, and it goes off a couple of hands. Falls incomplete. I don't see any flags. And so just 6 on the board for Oakville, 69-6 in the final few seconds of this football game.
Yeah, I think they're just going to let this one run out, and that's going to be the end of the game. There, I don't see any reason for them to let them kick off. I think they'll just call this one right here.
Well, right from the start, the Cougars put on a dynamite effort, 69-6 the final. The junior varsity Cougars over the Oakville Titans, an absolutely dominant performance by everyone. As we mentioned, Michael, every facet of the football game controlled immensely by Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, there was really not one aspect that struggled at all for the Cougars. Was there right from the get-go, they forced a turnover on the very first offensive play from Oakville. 2 plays later, they were in the end zone, and they just rolled from there. They had 2 scores on defense, a couple of scores on special teams, and they just looked phenomenal. Great performance here from this junior varsity squad from Chatham-Kent. They go 2-0.
In a dominant fashion, 2 wins on the home field here. The junior varsity of the Chatham-Kent Cougars going on the road now for a pair before they return back to the complex on June 30th. And this weekend still has lots of football with the Pee-wees and the Bantams playing on Sunday. So lots of football here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. But a great start of the season. 2-0 for the JVs, and you got to think some big things are going to happen this season.
Yeah, they look strong in all facets. So they're going to be a fun team to watch this year so far. Nice start to the season, as we mentioned, 2-0 to open it up, and they're going to be an exciting team, and we'll see if they can't make some noise come the end of the year.
Special thanks to Jeff Brooks on the camera. He is definitely, between the 3 of us, the hardest working fellow on this broadcast team. Thanks to Jeff very much for his work. Michael James to my left. We will talk with Mike again very soon. My name is Mike Renier. Again, a huge win for the JVs of the Cougars. Make sure you keep an eye on that website, chatham-kentcougars.com. My name is Mike Renier. 69-6, the final Cougars over Oakville on your TV.